All right, guys. So it's been a while since we've talked about leverless controllers, but I think it's time we talk about this one specific company. Let's get to it. Okay, so the company that I want to talk about, because a lot of people have requested this, is Haute42. I might be butchering the name. It might be pronounced, like the French word haute. So it might be Haute42. But I really want to talk about them for two reasons. And we're going to start off with the main reason. So this video is a little bit different. It's not so much a review because internally, the Hot42 devices are not anything different than the devices I've covered before. The RTU, the $50 budget leverless, you will see in a moment. They all have the screen. They all have the same internals. It's all the same, including the RTU A4, which I got recently. So let me cover the lesser of the two reasons why I want to talk about them. And so we're going to go into products. And as you can see right in front of me, there's one device that looks a little bit similar to a very expensive device that we've covered. And that is the M series. So Hot 42 has an M series, which is literally just a Razer Kitsune ripoff, right? Ripoff or copy or look-alike, whatever you want to call it. It literally looks like it seems to have similar buttons. The switches inside probably kind of similar. They are hot swappable, as we can see here. So you can see what I was talking about. It uses a GP2040 CE, which is pretty much the same things that the other ones that I've reviewed has. It just comes with the software now, I believe. You don't have to like install it into the Pico, but it's still a Raspberry Pi Pico, I believe. Or it's a very specific Raspberry Pi, but it comes with the software already that we've covered plenty of times. And this does use KL low profile switches. Remember I mentioned that for the Razer Kitsune, KL low profile switches could be used in place of the Razer switches, since Razer still doesn't produce the Razer Kitsune switches, natively, or whatever you want to call it. They don't make it themselves. So the M series, you can see that it has a whole bunch of extra buttons, and I wanted one that was similar. I don't mind. I don't want the extra buttons. It bothers me. It'll make me like, I can just take the button out and leave a hole, but I don't want that layout. They have another layout that's very similar to the standard layout for hitboxes and the Razer Kitsune. So we're gonna go to products, right? No, we're gonna go to where to buy, and this is the second point. So as you can see in front of me, right, global, if you're in any country, pretty much, you have AliExpress. Now, when you go to their AliExpress, right, when you go to their AliExpress, and I have it open over here. Let me open it over here. They do go by Hot42. Hot42's gaming store. They go by their brand name. Now this is global. It's a lot cheaper. It's pretty much the same price, but you get the screen and everything as the $50 budget. So I do think that, like, overall, this is the company that you should go with, because it's the same as all the other products that I've covered, but they're just more accessible. So that's the second point, right? But this is, if you want them, like their brand, Hot42, for whatever reason, only through AliExpress. They're probably a Chinese company or something, because then you have the United States Amazon, Japan Amazon, and Europe Amazon. And you might be wondering, why do they have 3 links? So for some reason, here in the States and probably in Europe, since they have 3 as well, they go by a different name, like 3 different names. So let me just open them up and just have them open, and we can go see. So the first link is called Sehawe. Sorry, I'm butchering all these names, right? But same products, T series. But it even says hot on the name, but for some reason their storefront is Sehawe, whatever. And then on this one it's called JZW shop. But again, same products, right? Same products. And then on this one it's called 4chan. So they have 3 separate storefronts that they go with, and since it is Amazon, it's more accessible. I know, especially for people here in the States and in Europe, getting something through Amazon is just a lot better. It's more reliable, it's quicker, and you have better customer service in case you want to return it. So that's why this is the second point. that I want to talk about is that it's just so much more accessible than all the other devices that I've talked about, which are only through AliExpress or some other sketchy website. So these products from Haute42, you can get directly from Amazon, right? If you're in the States or if you're in Europe and Japan. India, all the other ones, I know I have some viewers in like India and other European countries that aren't part of the UK. You got to go through AliExpress, and that's not a bad thing. Through AliExpress, they're cheaper. So if you still want to save even more money, right? So this is the one that I wanted. No, it doesn't even show the one that I want. I think one of these guys has this. Let me show you guys the one that I was thinking of, that I really wanted them. I've emailed them kind of. Oh, so there it is, that one. So this one, you can see it's more like a standard layout. It still has an extra button. So I know some people like extra buttons as well. So Haute42 is actually the devices overall that you should go with, because you also get that customization of adding more buttons. I know some people were like, oh, why do you use the standard layout? What have you tried ones where you add extra buttons? I don't want the extra buttons, but I know some people do. So Haute42 provides that for you. But again, if you go through them here, this is unavailable. So the one that I wanted is just sold out overall. I think AliExpress is the only place I can get it, and I just didn't want to get it through them. I wanted to get it through Amazon, review it. This is, again, internally it's the same thing. I wasn't going to keep it. I was just going to send it back after like I check it out, take it apart and all that. But yeah, internally, like, you can see it's the same little screen from the RTU that I reviewed. And if you haven't checked out the RTU review or any of the other reviews, I will have them linked below. I will have these Amazon links below. That's another thing too, like, since they are through Amazon, I can have associate links, and that helps out the channel. So if you guys do want to try one of these out, I will have the links through my Amazon associate links below. So let's go in here, and G16, the smaller ones. See, on here it's $78. So if you get it through Amazon, it is more money, but again, you're getting it through Amazon. Try it out. You know, even if you go past 30 days with Amazon, you can return it. But then again, you want to go through that hassle, you can still get them through AliExpress. But like I said, they use the same type of switches. The Kale, if you guys remember the cheapo, the $50 Leverless from AliExpress uses Kale switches as well. So it's the same thing. It's literally there's no difference between that and this. I still think some of the stuff that I reviewed, like the RTU A4, I think it's still better. There's some of their bigger ones. But if you wanted like a Razer Kitsune, I think this is the best way to get it, because I think it's $88 if you go through here. So here it is. So 101. Sometimes I've seen it go down to like $80 on AliExpress. But yeah, they're just more accessible, like I said. So United States, you got 3 Amazon links to try to find the one that you want. I have the ones that look a little bit cheaper. They all seem to be the same price, but Japan, you have the same thing. You know, so that's the benefit of going with Haute42. So I know you guys wanted me to review them, but again, there's no point, because it's the same thing as the other $50. Internally, the switches, everything. I'm just reviewing the type of plastic they used at that point. You know, there's nothing new. There's no software. The software is the same. The software is actually something I wanted to, one last thing. So let's say with the RTU A4, the Chun-Li one, the RTU A4 came with PS4 functionality, like completely. So as you can see here, the Haute42, they had the PS4 8-minute timeout. Like, so it'll work with, like, if you're playing PS4 games on the PS5, like PS4 version of Street Fighter 6 or Guilty Gear Strive, it'll work, right? You can use it natively on a PS5, and I've shown that before with the RTU A4. With the Haute42 devices, you're gonna get an 8-minute timeout, so every 8 minutes it'll like disconnect from the system pretty much, and you have to replug it in. And you know, that's obviously annoying. You have to find the PS4 flashing files. As you can see here, they try to like give you like a little guide on how to do it, but these files, like, I can't even link them in my description. We can't really talk about them. That's why they're like, you can go to these links, which take you to like Reddit threads of people trying to get the files, right? So you can scavenge the internet and try to find the files and then flash it, follow their directions. to get the 8-minute timeout. But that's again if you're gonna use PS4 versions of games. All right, if you're trying to use like for Tekken, right, which is the newest, the best fighting game right now, there's no way for it to work natively. You have to get like the specific USB device to allow you to do USB pass through, and that'll make it work on the PS5 natively. And since you got to go through all this hassle, you got to buy that USB device. My recommendation to make any of these, so you can go with the AliExpress one, pay $44, right? And then, like I always recommend, just get a Brook Wingman converter. That is the best way to make it compatible, not only with PS5, but this also lets you use it with PS4, right? And these things have all gone down in price now. They were selling up to like $100 when they first released, when Street Fighter 6 was like popping off, right? When it first released. Now you can get it for down to $60. So 44 plus 60 if you want to get it independently. I think this is the best way to get the smaller ones through AliExpress because they're just so much cheaper. If you're gonna get the metal ones, then sure, you can use the Amazon links. But I'll have them down below. That's all I really wanted to say is that Haute42, they look like the go-to budget leverless controller company right now, because pretty much every company, even like people in that Discord that I would always link, they all sell the same device. They all sell devices with the same Pico boards with the same software inside. So just stick to one company. At least this one has multiple storefronts, and at least it's on Amazon. So if anything goes wrong, you can report it there. And you can return it a lot easier if you're in the States and Japan and Europe, of course. I'm still waiting, like I said, for them to get the M13, because that's the one I really would like to check out to see how it compares to the Kitsune. But for now, I'd say go ahead. This company looks pretty good. It looks solid. It looks like the same materials as the ones that I've reviewed, so you're not going to get anything less. And if you wanted a Razer Kitsune look-alike for, you know, way less, Haute42 seems like the company to go for that. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Peace.